if your man has you doing these things, don't speak, don't do that, stay at home. He go out, you got to stay home, cook his meal, iron his clothes, and you ain't happy, you can leave.
Get your money, sis, fuck a hater. Get your money, sis, get your weight up. Make your money move, I ain't mad at you. Yeah, it's all about the cream and getting money, sis. Get your money, sis, fuck a hater.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to 2 Cent Tuesdays with Jenny, where you will be getting my unsolicited, unapologetic opinion about what's going on in the world today. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you are notified every single time that I post a new video. And without further ado, let's get right into today's topic. Recently, I came across this very interesting post on Facebook, and it was a list. And this list consists of ways of how to keep your men, ladies. So, requiring minds want to know, right? If you're single, if you've been in several relationships and still trying to figure out why is it not working, you want to see this list, because I too was like very intrigued. What's going on here? What's the secret, sis? Let us know, because we know back in the days, grandma, grandpa, pop, mama, mima, whatever you called your grandparents, our great grandparents, we know that they were, married for years. So it's like, what is the secret? What do we need to know? Well, this list is from the 1900s, apparently. And this is what the list had to say. Let's present the list, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1, don't talk. Let your man talk first and never greet him with issues and problems. A man does not need to come home to stress. Number 2, don't complain if your man never takes you out to public functions such as dinners or dances. That right there tells me that this is from the 1900s, because dances, who does that anymore? Anyway, number 3, have the house clean and dinner ready when your man comes home. Number 4, on Sunday, make sure your man's clothes is ironed for the entire week. Number 5, when your man rewards you with good sex for the great job you've done all week, never deny him. Now, at the end of this list, it says, please keep in mind that divorce was not very common back in those days. So apparently this list was working for the women, and we need to take heed to what they're trying to tell us. Girl. So I would love for you to leave your comments down below. Leave your thoughts down below. What do you feel about this list? Men and women. Men, do you agree that this is the way to your hearts? This is the way to keep you and keep you on the straight and narrow? Ladies, do you agree? Are you ready to submit 100% to your man? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm very curious to know what you guys think about this list. And I'm going to go ahead and drop my 2 cents in on this keep your man happy, keep your man list. Now, initially when I read this list, I'm like, girl, boy, whoever wrote this list, bye. It's a no for me. Get out of here with that. But I said, all right, let me really dissect this thing. Because off rip, the first one lost me. Don't talk. Okay, excuse me. Now, I have been told in the comments here that I am masculine, aggressive, this is the things that men don't like. This is why they date outside their race and blah, blah, blah. That's cool. You can't handle it. Somebody can. But yeah, I feel like, one, there's a reason why this was written in the 1900s, okay? Those things were obviously common for a woman's role back in those days, way back in the early 1900s. That was a woman's role. Those are they were stay-at-home wives, they were at home all day. So of course those things are to be expected. Men ruled with an iron fist back then. So of course, it's normal to have his clothes laid out, make sure his meal is prepared, get his coat when he comes in, and wait till he speaks to you. You don't speak to him. That one, that's just weird to me, whether it was in the 1900s, the 1800s, 2001. Like, that just, I don't really agree with that at all. Like, you don't greet unless he greets you. But I can agree with, don't greet someone with your problems and your issues. That could go for both sides. You don't never want to walk in the door and off rip you are ripping and ranting and venting about your day. Because nobody wants to hear that, a man or a woman, unless, you are now engaged. Hey, honey, how was your day today? You really want to know how my day went? I'm going to tell you how my day went. I would think if you were my partner, but see, that's the problem. I feel like in the 1900s, you weren't looked at as a partner. You were looked at as the wife, somebody to take care of me. Now that my mama not taking care of me, you going to take care of me now. But today, at least for me, I see a marriage, a relationship as a partnership. So as my partner, someone that I look to as a friend, I would think it would be okay for me to vent to you without creating an animosity or creating a negative energy in my home. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there should be a way where I could communicate how bad my day was, and then we could just push that to the side because I got it off my chest, or you got it off your chest, and now we could talk about something else. You know what I mean? So it's better to just vent it and let it out. Like, what's wrong with that? But again, this is the 1900s. Women were not working back then. Even a stay-at-home mom now, which a lot of times is a choice for women. Back then, it really wasn't a choice. There wasn't no jobs for women to have back then. You were to stay home, bear the children, and take care of the house. Now we have options to work. Some people choose not to. Some people would rather be stay-at-home wives. Some husbands rather their women be stay-at-home wives. Let's see. As far as, don't complain if your man never takes you out in public. Okay, so not the dances. Obviously this is from back in the day because nobody go to no dances and stuff. But would it be a problem if your man never takes you anywhere? Yeah, that would be a problem, because why not? Why can't I come out with you? Why can't you come out with me? Like, what's the problem? I don't understand. Sum up the whole thing, okay? I'm not gonna go rule by rule because I'll be here all day. To sum up the whole thing, this works for back in the day. Some of these rules can still work for today society, for women today. But I feel like it all depends on the dynamic of your relationship. If you are a stay-at-home mom and you have that understanding with your husband, or you are a stay-at-home wife, or whatever the case have you, and your husband is taking care of the bills, he's the breadwinner, he's coming home, everything's paid for, then I can understand how, those rules can sort of come into play. Because he is doing everything. He's making sure everything in here is running. He's making sure the lights stay on. He's making sure we keeping a roof over our head. So yeah, of course you don't want to bombard your man when he walks through the door with your issues and your problems and your da-da-da, and you're taking out your frustration. But you can still greet your husband. You don't have to stand there and wait to be spoken to speak. Yes, you can have his dinner ready because you've been home. If you don't have children, what else is there for you to have been doing all day besides getting his meals or whatever prepared? Then yes, if you are a stay-at-home, fine. But if that's not the dynamic of your relationship, then these rules are crap. It doesn't work. If you are also out working and he's working and y'all splitting the bills 50-50, you not about to be telling me I can't speak. I gotta make sure the house is clean and I gotta stay home while you going out and doing you, and on Sunday I gotta iron all your clothes. Excuse me? No. Now don't get me wrong. I know I'm coming off a little extra, but for the right man, we can be submissive. Black women can be submissive to their men. Do understand that. I'm not saying all, but a lot of us can submit. A lot of us can sit there and wash your clothes, cook your meals, rub your feet. We can do all of those things for you when it's done to the right kind of man. When they try to cater to you because it's like, they trying to say women need to be slaves to their men and da-da-da. That's not what they were trying to say at all. But trust and believe, they were not talking about no low down, live off, I'm at home playing video games all day, smoking all day with my homeboys type dude. That's not what they were talking about. They talking about a real man that goes out and works and busts his ass and do what he got to do, make sure his bills is paid, make sure his woman is taken care of, and giving her what she needs to make sure she can give him what he needs. Now they just really smacked me over the head with this one. When he rewards you for doing such a good job of taking care of his home with a little bit of D, never deny him of it. Now, it's the wording for me. Okay? I do feel like, women should not deny sex as much as some women do. I'm not going to say all. I do feel like, men have a very high sex drive, but so do women. Okay, whatever. They have a very high sex drive. So when you're denying them of sex because you're tired or you're this, you're that, and don't get me wrong, you're entitled to feel how you feel, but if that man is doing right by you, you could give it a little side booty. You ain't got to do much. You can let him do all the work, but give him a little something. I agree. But that wording, when he wants to reward you for doing, no. I would like to think we both getting rewarded here, okay? Because I'm giving it to him too. So don't get it twisted. But no, honestly, I think this list is garbage. There's no way such a thing could exist in today's day and age. And when I say that, I'm not saying that women cannot do these things for their men. But I would think a real good man wouldn't even want that from his wife. You understand? He don't want he don't want somebody to be that submissive. Unless he is that type of dude, then I wouldn't want to be with a man that expect those things from me. But yes, I agree and I disagree. And like I said, it depends on the dynamic. And to end it all, they ended it by saying, remember, divorces were not that common back then. As if that's supposed to validate the entire list. They weren't that common because there wasn't much of an option for it back then. Okay? Women did not know their rights. women did not know their worth back then. It was not a common thing because it was unheard of to get a divorce. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of times women back there was suffering. They didn't want to deal with that man. And a lot of times those men would come home grumpy, tired, frustrated, and go upside their head. All these type of things. And they didn't think they had any other option but to stay and deal with it. We have options now. Same way men, you have options. You're not happy, you can leave. Now, granted, if it's something that's fixable in a relationship, there's something that could be worked on, then I feel like this generation needs to work a little bit harder. I feel like we don't put in that work. When something is going wrong, it's just like, I'm done. Bye, on to the next. We don't put in the work like they did back then. But at the same time, when you're beating a dead horse for certain situations, you can leave. After a while, you can leave. You don't have to stay in anything that doesn't make you happy. And if your man has you doing these things, don't speak, don't do that, stay at home. He go out, you got to stay home, cook his meal, iron his clothes, and you ain't happy, you can leave. Divorce is an option. That's all I'm saying. So with that being said, I would love to know your thoughts on this list in the comments down below. Please. I thank you guys for watching. Make sure you follow me on all of my social medias. Everything will be in the description down below. And Jenny is out.